Oh, it worked this time. We taken down. We back in effect. The GFB Clubhouse, episode 10. Welcome to the GFB Clubhouse. And tonight, just like every other night, we have a fantastic topic to discuss tonight. It's going to be pretty fun. So I'm asking you to dial in and keep your minds open to the conversation because at the end of the night, we're certainly going to find a way to weave gratitude within it. But like we always do, we're here every Tuesday night, 7 p.m., the GFB Clubhouse, to talk about the various manners and ways in which we have experienced and practiced gratitude over the past week. And like we usually begin, we go around the horn and find out exactly what each of the brothers is grateful for. We're missing one right now, but temporarily he'll join us. You know how life can be sometimes, it can delay, but we still rock on. So when I'm with my brothers, I want to find out how they doing, and we're going to jump into this topic. Rod, how's it going this evening, man?
I'm rich.
Let's go.
Okay, maybe
Let's
not.
go.
Is that Monopoly money? Is it Monopoly money?
No,
There's only one problem. It ain't flow and come cascade down here. Like
Right.
Yeah,
Where's the bottle
I tried.
service?
I tried
the
to make
bottom
it go to Florida, man. It did. I threw it up to DC so it can come down
Right.
to Florida. It didn't really work out, but that's how I'm feeling, man. I feel like $1,000,000, man. I tell my wife all the time this transition into full-time entrepreneurship, it hit the pockets really hard, but
Mm.
it also hit the peace bank really hard in a good way. You know what I mean? Like it's a trade-off, and I tell her that all the time. I'm like, I don't care how consistent the paycheck is over here if it's costing me my peace. You know, what's the trade-off? What are you giving for that paycheck every 2 weeks? And so I'm in a state of mind today where I'm just very grateful for peace and sanity and not having stress and somebody hovering over me telling me what to do and how to run. And while some of that stuff is okay, I'm not knocking anybody that does that. Um, I'm just grateful for the opportunity to wake up and set my schedule and do my thing and work hard and go out and get the money, right? I can't work hard to go out and get the peace. I don't know a place that sells peace. But I do know that I can go out and get the money. So yeah, I'm just grateful, man, looking around at all that I have instead of looking around at all that I want. And it keeps me in a constant state of awe at all that God is doing. So that's where I am today. That's why I was throwing dollars instead of hundreds, because entrepreneur, baby.
You got me thinking about, man, if we could actually sell peace like a product, man. You know how lucrative that would be?
Man, what?
If we had like the market on peace, Lord have mercy.
Sell some
John.
peace. Sell some peace, buy some joy, and get some blissfulness. What we
Oh,
doing?
you say
Come
bajillionaire?
on, baby.
I don't think that's
Come on.
real, but
Yeah.
a bajillion might be real if we had the market on that. How's it going down there in Florida, John?
I am blessed and highly favored. Super grateful to be here with you guys and have a conversation. Yeah, man. To just tap on what Rod said, I think it's super important. Keep your sanity. Right? We're talking about peace. I know it so well because I spent so long trying to oblige, trying to live up to this thing. And we get to a point where we don't understand what the problem is, but there's a problem. And it's that peace, right? You missing that peace, that deep breath air, deep fresh air that you need, that walk in the park, that whatever it is, like for that person, you're missing that, but it's interesting for me. It's like I was telling you guys, I was at a job site today, and I'm at the job site. This is a 2-story home, and I have guys on the roof working, and I'm outside taking a phone call, and I just so happen to be walking out of the garage past the van to another vehicle in the driveway, and I hear something land or fall on the floor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you can picture, you guys know what roofing tile is, right? So you have roof tiles. So imagine a roll of wire, which is theoretically around, it varies, but let's say 30 to 40, sometimes 50-pound looms or wheels, right? With wire. It fell off of the second story, hit the first story, broke the tile, and then fell onto the floor in front of the garage, where I just so happened to be on the phone. And I tell the story. This literally, this just happened. I took a picture of it. I could send it to you. So the point here is, how interesting is it that I just so happened to be about 3 feet to the left of where it landed? I had just walked right in front of where that fell.
Mm.
And we're talking about cement tiles, right? So if it breaks off a piece, it's just like glass. If it's falling
Yeah.
from, right? If it's falling from that first story that's
Yeah.
over 10 feet high, it can do damage.
Mm.
And I'm sitting here and not be happy and not be grateful. Come on, stop it.
That'd have
Stop
kept
it.
you out of here. You would have been on here tonight for sure. I'm guessing that.
Like, where John at? Yeah,
Right.
well,
That
we had a
part.
good run. So, but yeah. So anyway, yeah, man, that's what it is. Brad, talk to us. How we feeling today?
It's well, first of all, it's wonderful to hear where you guys are because it's always like motivation to like go into depth of where I am with it, man. Of course, I'm always grateful in this area where I live, where I know our weather, when it's nice, is only like that for a temporary amount of time. And for the past couple of days here in the Washington, D.C., Maryland area, we've had phenomenal weather, which I know is going to end pretty soon because it only lasts about 2 weeks. We don't have the luxury of consistent nice weather like Florida
You're
or
such a
Atlanta and stuff
pessimist.
like that.
Such
Atlanta
a
Hey,
is
listen, man, I'm
pessimist.
consistent.
just being real.
Listen,
I'm
why
grateful
you
for the
on this
days
call?
we
You know
got,
what,
baby.
Rod? Rod.
Atlanta is consistently crazy. Come on, man.
Yeah. I
You gotta
mean,
wear
whether
shorts and a
weather-wise,
bubble coat.
Florida's bipolar. It'll rain 1 second, the sun is out the next second.
that's
Like, come
true.
on now.
That's true. That's
Atlanta
true.
is schizophrenic if Florida is bipolar. Okay. 1 minute is raining, next minute is freezing, next minute is summertime. Like, what's
Come
happening
on now.
around here?
We just teasing.
Yes.
We just teasing. Go ahead, Brad.
I guess we all got our perspectives about, especially about the weather where we live, man. But
It's another
I'm
thing to be
definitely
grateful for.
grateful for even though it's Tuesday, I'm grateful for my mom.
Let's
Mhm.
go.
'Cause I'm sure you guys have been as well. Being as especially growing up as sons, ain't nothing like the bond with a mother, man. And this past Mother's Day, she had a wonderful time. And she shared some words of pride over me. And it was comforting to hear because, I didn't live in a house where that was expressed a lot. And so it kept me guessing. And even as a child, you reach for parental approval so many times. So to hear that really caused me to reflect and, not even look at myself in such a harsh manner, which is something I believe, we as especially as men can definitely do. Because like we've mentioned several times on and offline, we're sort of, perfectionists. We're artists in our craft. And going along those lines and just to like jump into the topic for this evening, we took my mother to go see the Michael Jackson movie. And as we were sitting in a doggone near packed theater, I was reading between the lines and watching the story flow. And I'm not going to spoil anything for those who haven't seen it yet, but we all pretty know Michael Jackson was the king of pop, incredibly talented, phenomenal voice, nothing like we've ever heard before. And it's easy to kind of see how he skyrocketed to where he was, not understanding some of the rigors that he went through as a child and some of the suppression that was imposed upon him by his own father within his family, so that his father's vision
Mhm.
could come true for the family instead of his own. So the movie was pretty much gauged around Michael finding liberation from his father's creativity and then finding his own. And that's what the subject is tonight: the liberation, or the liberty, should I say, of creativity in our lives. And the reason why it was so phenomenal in that movie is because once Michael found his creative outlet and then he matched it with purpose, we see something so unique that nobody's ever seen before.
Mm.
So it started making me think about the feeling I have when creatively I'm working and I complete a project that I had in my mind and I see it materialize and the satisfaction that comes along with that and how it overshadows many other accomplishments that I have in my life, whether that be educational, like getting a degree, or on the job, getting a promotion because I closed a certain type of deal. If it was not lined up with my creativity and being a part of one of my many outlets that I know we all have, then it just didn't hit the same. And so one of the things that I immediately was grateful for, and this is something I want to discuss with you gentlemen tonight, is what is that creative outlet you have, and how grateful are you for not only being aware of it, but being able to operate in it? Because it's easy, and I cannot tell you how many brothers I have known who constantly, yeah, man, I just get up, I go to work, handle my business, come home, eat, and I go to sleep day after day, month after month, year after year, same thing, nothing else. And then they find themselves numbing themselves about life's pressures, just doing other things, but not within the creative outlet.
Mm.
And what are we depriving the world of? If you're an artist, you're depriving the world of seeing your creative aspect through art. If you are a film producer, you're depriving the world of seeing what you can put together visually and audibly. And then, like me, my creative outlet is voiceover. It's one of many. But I can be as creative and create characters in my mind to match certain voiceover appointments or gigs that I have and make it my own, because nobody's going to sound like me. Nobody's going to do it like me because it's coming out of here and not from somewhere
Right.
else.
Right.
What do you guys think about that?
Man. First of all, that's we could talk about everything you said for the next 2 hours, easy.
Easy.
But to kind of bring it full circle from my, point of view, I just want to kind of shape shift as our other partner comes in. Welcome in, Greg. I feel like there's somebody that's gonna watch this that's gonna feel like, that sounds cool and cute and dandy and whatever, but I got bills to pay. I got a wife and kids to feed. I don't have time to pursue what's creative or the thing that I used to pursue as a kid, the thing that I'm talented with. Um,
Oh,
and we get caught in that rut. We get caught in the formality of life. So I just want to speak from that perspective because I know that it's real. And while I might not be there today, I was there at some point where I was what I consider stuck in a role that didn't give me that kind of peace and purpose. But I had to do what I had to do. Don't lose sight of who you are. Like in the process of doing what you have to do and developing those responsibilities and paying those bills and getting a job or whatever it is, right? We're men. That's what we have to do. Or even a woman. Just don't lose sight of who you are. Don't get so far down that road that you don't peek back every now and then at the thing that you were destined to do, the thing that you were made for. The creator created you to create something. So don't lose sight of that. So I just wanted to say that real quick, man, because I feel like it's important.
Absolutely.
Man, we gotta let Greg jump in here.
I'm so sad I missed y'all's updates, man. I was driving home, hour and a half there, 2 hours back, but it was completely worth it. I just have to say that this is going to sound so cliche as I say it, because we know we start with what we're grateful for. But I am so grateful to be alive right now.
Mm.
And I say this because we've lost I don't even know how to. I'm still processing it because it doesn't feel real. Myron Golden's brother, Jeff Golden, passed away last Monday.
Oh,
and
man.
that was the man that when I stood up to take Myron's $1 million offer, not knowing where I was going to get that money from, he said, "Go sit next to my brother, Jeff." And I sat next to him. He said, "Congratulations, young man. You've just made a decision that's going to change life for your children and your children's children." And he's the reason I got into the program in the first place. And he just pours into all these people with no expectation. And he told me one of the last things he told me was, do not waste the gift you've been given, which is exactly what you're talking about. You've got a gift. Do not waste it. And I've been sitting for so long, and it's a reminder. We don't have as much time as we think we do. We live life knowing our born date and assuming that we'll live forever. And we live like we're going to live forever when we procrastinate, when we put things off into, I'll do it tomorrow. You don't know if you'll be alive tomorrow, right? You don't know if you'll be alive next week, next month. If you can do it now. I just got a call on the way home from a friend. And she was on that plane that hit the person on the runway in Denver. And then the engine exploded and they had to jump off the plane. So she calls me and she's just joyous as ever. This is her whole personality. And she's like, I survived a plane crash and got to jump from a plane. I'm alive. Wee! And I'm like, wait, you what? So long story short, that could have gone so much worse for her. But she said, filtering it through a lens of gratitude, I'm going to use this as fuel. Not as one of those stories where, oh, feel sorry for me. I was on a plane that exploded and almost died. No, I'm going through a healing journey. I'm going to sing. And I'm going to bring people along on the journey with me. So when I say I'm grateful to be alive, it could always be worse.
Wow.
And prayers up for the Mark from the Golden family. Certainly, if that, shoot, you said that happened last night.
It was Monday, May 4th.
Monday.
I believe he was battling with cancer, if I'm not mistaken. Last time we saw him, he was pretty frail, but I got to play guitar with him in his room. He took us out to dinner a couple times during the last mastermind, and he took that whole night just pouring into me and just gave me ultimate sales frameworks, like, 50, 60 years of sales, like in one person, to tell you what to do past all the things he learned not to do. Like, he was Myron's right-hand man. At every sale that walked through that door and was in that mastermind had talked to Jeff at some point. So it wasn't it's not just Myron's loss. It's everyone that watches Myron, everyone that invests in Myron, everyone that knows Myron, everyone that knows the Golden family, every life he's touched. And we're talking people that are creating anywhere from $100,000 days to $5 million in a day. That's a lot of impact for a lot of people, not just the people that buy, the people whose families are affected once they buy, the communities that are affected. Like, that is a ripple right there. And I don't even know how to process it. Usually, you could put up a post. I don't want to just put up a generic, oh, we lost another soldier, post. Like, I want to put some thought into it. And that trap alone has kept me from posting at all in the last few years. Like, just trying to make it perfect. And I've sat here for like almost a week thinking, what do I say?
Well, sometimes there's a power in silence and in simplicity. Also, if you're able to sit in silence within your gratitude for all of the moments, spirit will move you to just write whatever it is that needs to be written. If you try to get involved and get in the way, then you're never going to write anything. You see what I'm saying?
Man, that is an excellent reminder, because when I wrote music every day, multiple times a day, and it was just cathartic to get it out. But there's this other entity in the room with me when I'm writing, and I'm just sitting there in silence or with the beat playing, and it just came. There was no perfection. There was no me thinking. It was like, ooh, and you write it down, hurry up, write it or record it before it goes away, because it's not me. And I have been getting in my way for so long, I didn't even realize that until you said it.
Did you hear that word, that sound he just made when he did that, Brad? Ooh. What that sound like? Didn't you say something a minute ago about that guy?
Like Michael.
Right.
I used to think it was weird. I used to think it was because because I
Good way.
didn't understand it. I didn't understand why he was like, ooh, and all that. You know, he's famous for it. But he was actually feeling the music and the rhythm and the vibration on such a deep level. He was expressing that deeper level of connection with the music that he himself had made.
Yeah, that's the
And when
part
he
right there.
did that, that's why people fell out, because of course, like during the movie, he had concerts and they showed the people fainting, both men and women. And I'm like, how do you affect somebody with your gift that much that that's the reaction?
Yeah,
And it's like you're exposing them to the level of creativity which you're bringing out through your music. And such a phenomenal. He's like fully connected.
yeah, it's a higher
And
level.
Greg,
Yeah.
but Greg, you got that, at least the initial stages of it, by letting it come to you and, like you said, getting out of your own way. Because when it comes to creativity, it should never be about us like, man, what am I going to create? It should be inspired.
Yeah. Yeah.
As soon as the challenge is met, this is an opportunity to be creative, and it flows. That's what if it's anything besides that, it's no different from the work that we all go in and put in, like on a 9 to 5 or anything else. It's no
Right.
different, because you got to sit down, put your effort in, this do that.
Yeah.
But if it's creative, it should flow. What do you guys think about that?
There's a certain level of it that is driven by skill. So for example, I watch a young man on YouTube, his whole alma mater, his whole thing is hard work beats talent. And there's truth to that, right? You hear different people talk about the same thing. Bruce Lee, for example, says, I fear the man that has done 10,000 kicks versus the man who only knows one, or something to that effect. So it's a common theme. But going back to what the conversation is, which is Michael and how his father kind of influenced his what he turned into, which wasn't exactly what you mentioned at first, but I want us to kind of tap dance around that conversation real quick, or maybe even go deeper into that, because obviously his father saw something in his children, right? Because the way you stated it, Bradley, was as if the father basically reflected his vision onto them, and then they became first the Jackson Fives, and then Michael was on his own, right? Is it crazy to think that his father saw what his potential was, meaning his son, and simply helped him kind of start in that direction, knowing or feeling something, inspired in a way that later on Michael was going to take it and become what he, obviously they didn't know how big it would be, but the image was there, right? So the father was obedient, started this thing because he wanted to be obedient regardless of his tactics and the way he went about it, because we kind of know the story. But look at what happened with Michael. Michael was in his flow state, right? That and all the things he used to do, if you really think about it, what's the difference between that and when you have a spiritual awakening and speak in tongues and create impact, right? So again, he's being obedient. He transcends to this level because he gets out the way. It's not him. And that's why everybody's fainting. Everybody's like, what is this? Right? Because they don't know how to respond to it. It's because it's not him. It's not him. It's the energy, the frequency, the vibration created through this, right? He's just the catalyst. It's come on, man. Come on.
Wow.
I just want to make a quick call out right quick before you go that John got the robes right now.
That's what I'm about to
want to call that out.
I was about to say.
I
that
can't with
earlier,
y'all, man. I can't with y'all.
That was it right there, bro.
So let me pass you the robe, man. Here you go.
You're
You're
so
on that
funny.
I'm about to find a way to put one on the screen, and we're just gonna pass it around when it comes.
Let's go.
Yeah, just put the robe background. You know, you got the throne and the robe on and the little hat.
But
So
right,
I'm in agreement with you. There's a couple things that I took note on. One, that you know his father saw the talent in his kids, and you mentioned, or one of y'all had said that you had heard that hard work beats talent, but hard work has to beat talent if there is no talent. And so what is the hard work? Well, I see something in someone else. Now I'm either living vicariously through them or I'm becoming their agent to get them to the place they need to be, because I see the talent. I can't do what they do, but I know how to market them. So I'm going to help them get to where they need to be, right? I can still collect something on that, right? But I become the vessel for them to do that. So creativity doesn't need skill. Sometimes creativity needs an agent, right? And then the thing that this always comes up when we think of like creativity in general. Creativity is nothing more than connecting dots. So the more life you live, the more dots you have to connect. When I'd be writing and I'd run out of inspiration or be on writer's block, there's no such thing. I'd be sitting there and trying to write. And I'm thinking. And when you're in your head, do we have a head to head or a heart to heart? Right? Do we have heart to hearts? Do we bump hearts or do we bump heads? Right? So why are you creating from the head if that's where you're going to bump people? I don't need to headbutt people with what I create. I need to have a heart to heart. So it has to flow from here. And the only way it's going to flow from here is if I am living life and being inspired in my spirit. Something is coming out of my spirit to this world that other people will feel too, because it came from a place. Because energy doesn't die, it only transfers. So if it came from my heart, like this is the reason you tear up when you listen to a song, no matter how many times you've listened to it. Fix You by Coldplay just happens to be mine, or Man in the Mirror by Michael, since we're talking about Michael, right? Man in the Mirror makes me tear up because I was in this program where they gave you a pseudonym and a stretch song and some other song, and one of my songs was The Power Inside by some, I can't remember the guy's name, and then Man in the Mirror was my I forgot the names of them, but it reminds me that I can't change anyone else. I can only change me. And so I start with me and it ripples out into the world.
I don't want to lose something real quick. So the only thing that, so this is a common trait for people, a common habit for people, right? They see that they're talented, or they know, they're aware of a level of talent that they have, right? And they become complacent within their talent. Just because you have talent or you're talented in something doesn't mean that you're going to get it done. It really doesn't. Because I know, for example, I'm not a sports guy now, but I used to watch sports and I used to watch basketball. And I felt, what's his name? Allen Iverson. He was super talented. He was super talented, but he didn't have the discipline. He didn't have the discipline.
We're talking about practice.
He didn't have the discipline, right? If you look at his life, right? And again, I'm not a sports guy, so don't come at me, but just understand the compare. He played with all the greats, and he is considered a great, but his greatness is capped. There's a limitation because of his lifestyle and because of other things. That didn't come just because it came. It was because of what it was for him, because he didn't have the discipline, right? And he'll say it himself, because I've seen plenty of interviews for him. He had the everybody told him he had the talent. And again, I'm just using that as a superficial type of analogy, but it's still, for example, I feel that I'm very talented in my painting, in my art, but I don't practice my art.
Can I ask a question? Because you said that, and I thought to ask this last time. You have all this beautiful art up on your walls that you've done, and you're the only one with a blurred screen. Why?
Exactly the point. Look, exactly the point. Let me show you. Let me
But
see. How do I?
hit me. You hit me in my spirit when you said you need the discipline. Because
Not
I'm
only are
really
those
good with what.
pieces his, but he has reasons behind each of them because he took time to explain to me what they meant.
Yeah, yeah. It's a whole series of paintings. You can see them.
Dope.
Man.
So, but
So
what I'm saying, but
what's the story?
what I'm saying is, at the end of it all, what I'm saying is, yes, talent and creativity. It's like you mentioned, creativity is just connecting the dots. Is it? Because it could be creating the dots. It could be identifying the dots, maybe. Like there's so much there, right? It's not necessarily connecting the dots because yes, as a person who creates solutions, sure, you can creatively solve connecting the dots and interlacing and or whatever. Maybe. But what if there are no dots? Then what do you create? Like
John out here cooking tonight, boy.
But he's keeping that robe. You
What if you
you're right.
created the dots? You're not just
You are
connecting them, you
absolutely
created.
right.
Did he even
Created the
see the
dot.
robe? Did he see the robe?
I don't think he saw it. He was in the zone. He was in his flow state.
He was in the
You know what I
zone. He
mean?
didn't even see
I love the robe.
I ain't playing.
Oh man, that's so good. Who did that? That was you, Ron?
Yeah, you know.
Oh,
Look, I got one
this
for all of us,
guy.
but you gotta earn it. You gotta earn it for it to pop up. It can only be one on the screen at a time.
This guy.
That's right.
You see?
Yeah.
You see what I mean? See what I mean?
He
Hard work.
created the dot.
Hard work. Anyway.
That's hilarious, man.
Anyway, that's
You made a
great.
good point talking about AI though, man. That's why I was saying practice. We talking about practice because that was a big viral clip for him back then. AI and it's weird. I'm calling him AI. And Michael Vick are two big examples of great talent that didn't work hard, that took it for granted, that didn't express gratitude for what they had. And while AI didn't necessarily lose it in the same way Mike Vick did, they both did not reach their potential. They might have reached their potential from a monetary status initially, but as you can see, that could easily be taken away. But in terms of their purpose while they're here, it's just like back to the story of Michael Jackson. What if he didn't have the courage to step out on his own and be creative? We wouldn't have Beat It and Billie Jean and all the other that stuff. It would just be a whole bunch of Jackson 5 albums. You know what I mean? But when you're not operating in your full creativity, you can't even be your full self. So he would have been half of Michael Jackson in the Jackson 5. He would have been resenting his father and in the situation because he really wanted to do something else. So I'm always inquisitive, like from a perspective of like, are we being our full selves? Do we even know who that is? Have we lost it in the process? So yeah, I agree. I think that Allen Iverson was a true talent, but if he took on the mentality of, you know what, just because I'm here with this talent doesn't mean I need to work at this in the same work ethic that Kobe had, who knows what we would have saw? Who knows?
Going back real quick to the Michael, all right? You heard what you said. There was no person in the music industry that would do what he did, how he did it. And I'm not talking about the creative piece. I'm talking about the discipline. This man had more albums, just as many songs written and performed and everything else put away than what he did, that he put out. And on top of that, if you look at the kind of stuff that he did behind the scenes, he helped every musician, every backup singer, every dancer, like his level of workmanship and hard work, like he took it to a different level.
He did.
And people sleep on Mike.
Yeah.
People sleep on, but on stage, he would go and prep for the performance, and he would help every single person, including the lighting engineer, the music engineer. Like, come on, man. Come on, man.
He had the whole vision.
Come on. Now, again, this is why I'm saying you need talent is great. Creativeness is great. I believe in it. We are all creators. Because like you mentioned, Rob, we were created in his image. But you got to put in the work.
Yep.
There's a reason why he planted the seed in us. What we doing?
Dude, it was this moment was so like made me have goosebumps, man. The way that they framed it, there was a point in the movie, of course, we know, like the apex, the big confrontation, the big obstacle to overcome. And it was him confronting his father about wanting to do his own thing versus doing what his father wanted to do. I'm not going to reveal how he did it, but after that scene took place, and of course the audience realized it, is when he publicly performed, or they showed him performing the song Bad. Now we know that's a dope track. That those opening doom 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 doom, like it gets your blood boiling, like you feeling something. When he performed that song, it was a celebration of him breaking free and beating that obstacle of telling his father, "This is what I'm going to do, and I'm doing it." And so you felt that it gave a different meaning to it. Because when I heard Bad first time, and when I saw the video, I'm just like, this is just cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's bad dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, but when I saw the reason why he made it, and then the words and how he performed it, he's like, I'm a bad dude because I am taking charge over my creative gift and I'm using it the best way I can. And I'm bad. And that made the people in the audience, like, they were getting it. And it made me think, I was like, what in the world can I celebrate this? Like, I'm bad. You know what I'm saying? And not to the point where I'm arrogant or anything. I'm bad because I dominated the fear in me to be my full self amidst the circumstances, amidst all the circumstances, including the chief person who's over me, my dad, who I want to get the most respect, who's raised me. I challenged his authority on my creativity and I came out on top. I'm bad. And that made the whole joint hit that much harder. I was like, oh, that's why he made the song.
That's the road.
No,
That's the road.
I'm just explaining what I saw. That's it. Michael was the one.
No, listen, man, like, that was good.
That joint hit.
Hold on. Did you just color sync our robes to the Ninja Turtle colors?
Like, wait. Why wouldn't he? Like, come on now, stop it. We don't half-ass nothing around here. All right? Come on now.
You know I'm bad.
That who's bad?
Y'all
Pass the robe.
For real. That was good.
You're gonna see Greg. Greg, I see that you're gonna see it this week. You're gonna see what I'm talking about, especially when that scene comes up. I was like, oh, that's why he did. And that makes us all, I believe when people watch that scene, it's gonna inspire them to look at it. It's like, you know what? I ain't been waking up to go to the gym, but damn it, I've been consistent for like the last couple. Like, if you are already in your groove, if you've already beat that obstacle, you gonna really resonate with that song like in a way that you probably never have, especially you ain't heard it. You know what I'm saying? I know we older generation, we grew up around that. Like, I was in the theater singing the songs that I didn't even think I knew to do the words for, like a Human Nature. The Up Against the Wall came out. I Want to Rock with You. That joint, I was singing all the lyrics. It's like, I didn't even know I knew that. But I was like, young. I was like, that is the subconscious effect of the power of somebody's creativity on your life.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Wow. And we all have the ability to leave that footprint. We all have the ability to leave our own snowflake on this earth. You said something so powerful, Brad. I don't even know if you heard what you said or the significance of it. And I might chop this up trying to explain what I heard, but it was at the point where you said, you know, his own father, right? It rung in my head, and I'm thinking about our father. And I'm thinking about how, like, none of us can reach our true potential unless we're following what our father has put before us to do. You know, while Joe Jackson get the bad rep for all of the things that he did, we wouldn't know Michael the way we know Michael if it weren't for Joe Jackson pushing him and getting him in position to become who
1000%.
he became, right? And so, but then there's also this element that's present here where he had to break free and do his own thing. And I don't think, the correlation is we have to break free from God to do our own thing. I think the correlation is there's only so far God is going to take us unless we actually commit to action and discipline ourselves. We have to decide, you know what? I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to make this happen regardless of what I see, which is why it's faith that we're walking by, not sight, right? Because we're not going. Michael Jackson didn't know all of that was going to work out. He had a feeling. He had a desire. He decided to pursue it regardless of what he saw, regardless of all the pressure around him to be something else. How many of us are feeling pressure to be something that we're not? How many of us are feeling pressure to go and do something that has nothing to do with what we truly feel in our heart, to your point, Greg? So it's like, it's so many symbolisms within that, man, and parallels between his father and his own path and deciding which way to go and how to do it. And it all makes sense to me. But I got all of that out of that little moment when you said his father.
2 words.
Right.
With so many layers.
Speaking of which, I saw the actual play. I haven't seen the movie yet. The Broadway play, Michael. That's where the movie kind of got its inspiration from. I don't know if y'all seen it or had a chance.
I did not know that.
God. Oh no, that play is so deep, bro. This,
Man,
how people say, you read a book, the book is better than the movie, whatever.
Yeah,
I was just about to say, there's always that person that's always so much deeper that's either read the book or seen the play on Broadway.
Or seen the play.
Yeah, the play on Broadway, bro. If you have the opportunity, if it's still out, please. I think I paid. I took my whole family. It's 5 of us. $1,000. I would have paid $3,000 if I knew what I was going to see.
All right.
It was that good.
Wow.
Hell of a testimony, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
Man.
Hey, Rod, I don't want to lose something you said real quick before we continue the conversation. So you said something. You said, it's not, you don't know that if it's necessarily breaking free from God, right? In the concept of the Father and the Son and how we move. And it hit me because it went back to what we were talking about, Greg. What we were talking about is breaking free from yourself, from your own devices, your own ways, right? So it's not necessarily because the obedience part, remember, he already put something in us. So he already did his work, right? God already did his work. Each one of us has a seed planted in us, right? So if we just simply allow and we don't try to control or contain, then that's what we're breaking free, because that's where the growth starts. That's where everything that's planted within us from our Father, that's how you start to allow it to be, watered and kind of fed so that it starts to sprout. And then by the time you know it, like Steve Harvey says, your gift will make room for you. That's just what that is. That was so good that you said that. That was so good.
It's real.
And I thought you were going to say it, but there was something else I saw. I'm going to expound on that. Yes, and breaking free from, it's not about breaking free from our Heavenly Father. It's more of breaking free from whatever's fathering us that's not the Father, right? So whether it's an earthly father, whether it's a vice or a maladaptive habit formation, addiction, something that is taking control of us, our ego, our whatever it is that is keeping us from flowing in the Spirit and bringing from heaven to earth what was put in us to bring to the world, right? Because anything standing in the way of us being who we were meant to be is not for us, and we got to break free from it. So, I mean, I'm dealing with this myself. I'm in my own way so much that I'm not getting anything done. And I'm talking to the person out here right now that's watching this, or that will be watching this. Get out of your way. Like, you are literally the only thing stopping you from bringing what God brought you here to do.
Mm.
You're looking in the mirror, you're looking sideways, you're looking up. What is this person doing? What is this person doing? Am I doing it right? I mean, think about when you start a job. What do? You look around and see what everyone else is doing. How do I behave here? What code do I switch to? Right? And it just creates more of the same. They hired me at this company to be who I was. And as soon as I got in there, the pay made me think, well, if I come in here acting like who I am, I'm going to lose that. And what happened? I became just like the rest of them and had to detox from that after I left. How much better would it have been if I just showed up as me and saved me?
Come on now.
We got to break free from things that are anything that's fathering us other than our Father.
Oof. Come on. Spitting bars.
No, that's Greg's words. He said that.
Listen. No, Greg, take the mic. Take the mic and just do it. Just do it, man. Just do it.
He didn't even know he said it. That's what
he didn't even know. He didn't even know.
Hold on. That was me? Yes. You were in your flow state and it came out.
Yes, sir.
That's why you got the road.
That was you.
I'm gonna put another element in the spotlight that I believe not only every member of this group embraces, but I think it was probably the most key element in how Michael was able to even launch into this. Michael's childhood, as we know, was largely composed of performance and the rigors of repetition of the songs and so forth. But every time he wasn't doing that, he would be with his mom watching cartoons, watching Charlie Chaplin, watching the Three Stooges, eating popcorn, enjoying his childhood. And he kept something amidst the circumstances that most of us have lost, which is our childlike essence. And a lot of people did not understand him in that regard, which is the reason why we had the allegations of open pedophilia, which is the reason why people thought he was weird because he had Neverland Ranch and all the animals there. Is the reason why he had a pet monkey. When you think about these things, he called his place Neverland Ranch. When I'm watching the movie, they're talking about how much he loved the story of Peter Pan. I ain't know that.
Yeah.
And Peter Pan was the SHI dog. That joint, when I saw it, I was like, hell, you don't want to go to Neverland. I'm a boy. I could fly. I ain't got no parents. I can fight pirates. I can kick alligators. Like, it was like the ultimate dream.
Even though there's a dark side to it now, just play.
It is. Of course it is. But it's just like when he kept that, that childlike exuberance is also what led him to acts of kindness. They showed him visiting hospitals and visiting children who were diagnosed with terminal cancer, who had like other issues, other physical and mental health challenges. He would often be in there just bringing them joy. They would be asking them questions. It's like, yo, we got the biggest star on the planet sitting on the side of my bed, and he's a kid just like me. And I looked at that and I was like, there's an innocence that children possess, especially for those of you who have children, that's so wonderful that you just want to protect it.
Yeah.
And you want to keep that joint intact because you know when it's gone, it is hard to recover. And Michael ain't never lose that. And I think that was a powerful element in what helped him be as creative as he was.
Yeah.
I was like, so the reason why it spoke to me is because within, the things that I preach and the storytelling and everything, I'm like, dog, our most authentic selves is when we were growing up and we had to just start getting the limitations put on us by family, by friends, by people who are older than us. And it was like, I want to be a fireman. No, you can't be all that because you live in this party. You this color. I want to be the president. You can't be all that. It's like other people's perceptions, what they said, put that roof over our head. When Michael was like, nah, bro, I'm Peter Pan. So much so that I'm going to make myself look like him.
He looked more like Captain
I didn't
Hook.
even know all that. I didn't even know all of this. So when I'm sorry,
he looked more like who?
Captain Hook.
Like Peter Pan. He did his nose and his face. Dog, they showed it in the movie. Dog. I didn't even know.
I thought he was inspired by Diana Ross.
Hey, look.
Lord Jesus.
But no, to your point though, Brad, I think we all fall into that trap, to some degree, where we get brushed into adulthood prematurely in one way or another, and then we find ourselves discombobulated between our childlike version of who we are and our adult-like version of who we are. And we have to make decisions sometimes that leave the child version of us kind of sitting in the corner, wondering when they'll get a chance to come out and play. And sometimes that's years and decades, and sometimes it's never. I think that with Michael Jackson, to your point, having to be on in front of the camera at such an early age, he obviously didn't get a chance to live out his full childhood. So it makes sense that when he gets the money and the ability, he could do that, right? With us, how does that translate? How does that translate to the person who's working in the field or in the office, and they really want to just play a video game, or they're playing a video game, but they really have to go get some, like being able to balance between the two roles that we have, the child and the adult, is always a difficult trait. But the Bible tells us to be childlike, to become childlike. Like that's the only way to get into heaven and do these things, right? Is because there's an innocence associated with it, where you let go of all of this clutter and these ceilings and responsibilities and perceptions and all of these things that they put on top of us. We're programmed from 0 to 6. And at 6 years old, something happens where you know the difference between wrong and right, and you get to make decisions based off of that. But between 0 and 6, it's based off of what your parents and your environment are giving you, right?
Yeah.
But after that, we have choices. So the question is, what are you choosing to be today? Are you choosing to listen to your spirit or your flesh? Are you choosing to listen to the adult in you that's driving you from a responsibility point of view, or the child in you that's screaming for attention? Which one are you listening to? Which one? You know what?
Pass the robe.
we need to just put all the robes on and make sure everybody has it. Everybody has a robe tonight. Okay.
No, so I'm glad you mentioned that Bible verse. It's in Matthew 18. I had to look it up because I'm not perfect. But at the time, the disciples came to Jesus and asked, "Who then is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven?" And he called a little child to him and placed the child among them and said, "Truly I tell you, unless you change and become like little children, you'll never enter the kingdom of heaven. Therefore, whoever takes the lowly position of this child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. And whoever welcomes one such child in my name welcomes me." Michael literally lived by that. He had a freaking ranch where kids could come and spend time with the king of pop. Like, never mind what the world tried to paint him as, because he was doing what God told him to do, right? And one interesting thing about Michael and Prince is they grew up as Jehovah's Witnesses, right? And they wanted to rebel against that constraint of a man-made religion that told you this is the truth. And I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness. I know what that feels like. Like the biggest rebels come from the most constrained religions. And so him bringing the kids there to experience what most people would never experience, which is hanging out with a famous person, a pop star, right? And he's just so down to earth. You always hear Chris Rock talking about his times with Michael, right? This dude was living like we all should live, right? And think about, like, most people now don't want to work because now there's YouTube, right? There's Instagram, there's the ability to stream. Like, you don't have to separate video games in your real life. Your literal real life could be playing video games and adding the commentary, and you can get paid to do that. Like, we are living in an era where you can literally be paid to be you. And because of the way we're programmed from 0 to 6, and then repeated it from 6 to 12, and then 12 to 18, right? Just to reinforce it, we approach this endeavor of starting something and being us with the constraints of doing it within this box, right? You have to show up this way, do this thing this way, this step, this process. How many people do we watch right now that have no process? Someone had to come in. I'll give an example. Myron Golden. The man works intuitively. He's in his flow state at all times. He's preaching the Bible. He's saying the same message at different levels, charging different money for it. And his daughter was the one who was the CEO of his company that had to come in and reverse engineer what it is he does because he can't explain it. And I can't tell you how many times I'm in the mastermind and I say that again, Myron. And he says, I don't know what I said. So someone else has to engineer the process and the steps for other people to follow someone else's flow state. Does that make sense? Right? That's why when we try to follow steps, they don't work for us because they're not meant for us. They're probably not even real. It's just it's a guess of what someone thinks happened. When the real thing that happened is the person showed up as them from their heart. They were in their flow state and the room was changed. You can't put a constraint or process or formula on that.
That's why Michael got up at 3 o'clock in the morning to record some of them songs, because it's like I'm feeling it. And what's the famous thing he said now? If God gave it to me, if I don't action it, he's gonna give it to Prince.
Right.
Like,
that's right.
Wow. But
that's right.
I mean,
I did not know that.
Yeah, it was a real thing. So
look, that I just just a quick plug from that Michael Beasley episode I know we were talking about before. He said something similar to that as far as his gift and athleticism. He's like, God just sent it. I signed for the package. I can't explain it. I can't explain how I manifested, how I'm able to do what I do. Don't ask me questions. Talk to him about what he gave me. And even during that conversation, the way his candor back and forth with Shannon was that of a little child. He could have been like a 10, 12-year-old boy talking like that. He, through all you look at those comparisons, he going through all the trauma and stuff that he went through, and he still like to this day maintains that uniqueness. It's like, I'm me. Y'all just ain't gonna understand me. You laugh at me, you talk about me, but I'm still just gonna be me. You know what I'm saying? Every single day, I would propose for anybody listening to find that element, man. Reconnect yourself with that childlike version, and whatever flow state it puts you in, work hard in that lane and let that thing bloom and blossom the only way that you can make it do that. Because truly, there is nobody else walking around on the planet just like you.
It's not just that, Brad. I just want to be clear. All right. First of all of us deserve ropes tonight, so that's why this is happening. But secondly, I just want to say that it's not just nobody on this planet is you. Nobody ever has been. Nobody ever will be. Like the one-on-one is real. And I this is a part of what I get paid to do. I just want to say this clearly to everybody. The best thing you can do is figure out what makes you unique, no matter how weird or silly or crazy it seems to everybody around you or the entire world, and tap into that thing and develop it and sharpen it and practice it and work at it, because that's your super gift. That's your superpower. That's your talent. So like I used to shy away from certain things that made me quirky. And I'm like as an adult in my 40s, I'm like, no, this is me. I'm going to be fully me everywhere I go, because guess what? There's nobody else like me. No, it never has been, never will be. So I just wanted to say that, man, it's more than, oh, there's nobody like you in the world right now. No, there never has been and there never will be. There's been billions of people. So yeah.
As we wrap this up and bring it to the close, I'm interested to see what Greg and John got for feedback, especially on this topic, man, because this has been one of my favorite conversations, honestly.
Right.
You know, there's so much music out there, but nothing has made me feel consistently good besides when a Michael Jackson song comes on. Like just humming the song has been playing in my head ever since. I've been moving my head. The whole world it's in my head, right? Just to tell you again, who's back. This man is in his afterlife making us move. And I didn't even know this was the topic. And y'all didn't know that was I forgot what song, but the song that they gave me it was called Pathways. It was something that Dr. Phil or some lady started, and Dr. Phil stole it from her. It was called You, and they changed it to Pathways. But it was a program where basically what I experienced from it was 12-step programs for someone that's never touched a drug in their life. So recovery in a group process where someone can uncover that child inside and become them again, strip all the layers of the things that they've tried to become. And Michael means a lot to me, but I feel ashamed just a little bit that I don't listen to more Michael. I don't even have a Michael playlist, but I have a friend, an artist, a dear friend and artist that I've been working with since 2008. We recorded a song called Faith on the day he died, and she was driving to my house when she found out he died. When I tell you this crushed her, like she was so down. It was, we weren't even gonna record. As a matter of fact, the song we had slated to record didn't even get recorded. We wrote a song on the spot right there, inspired by Michael. And that cheered her up. But she goes like on this tour in LA around all the things, like the places he recorded. Like she does this at least once a year.
Wow.
That's how much and when she went to the movie, like she was streaming it, like at least her reaction to it. Michael has impacted so many people from so many different generations. And I believe it's going to continue to happen, because what's going to happen when Michael comes on in the store, someone who's never heard him before, no matter what generation, what music's popular then, stuff will still make you move now. That's the kind of impact I hope to make when I leave. But I'm not going to make it by making music that no one can ever hear. I'm not going to make it by not sharing what I create. So I got to show up. That's my feedback. I don't know if that counts.
What?
That's it. Just show up and you know, the likes, the views, the comments, the shares, the engagement, the money, that is not why we create.
Yeah.
That is a byproduct. The goal and the win for creation is creating it. When you share it, that's a plus, because someone else can hear it and get the same joy you got from making it. And I'm getting this straight from Rick Rubin, who, by the way, is not a musician, does not play an instrument, but he has made some of the best music and been behind a lot of the music that we enjoy today with no musical talent. Just because he's in his flow state all the time.
John?
That's what came to mind. John, come on, man, take us out.
So it's interesting. You said something, Greg. I've been sitting here this whole time just kind of taking in at what everybody is saying, and I didn't know what I was going to say. But then you said something that kind of triggered the thought of how we bring this all together. You know, for me, I've always have tried to express to people that when I paint or when I create something, it's never for me. It's never for me. Each one of these pieces that you see behind me have a story behind them. And any time that I've created something, it's always been with the vision of someone else feeling a thing and it being for them. And you can create not only obviously in art, there's so many ways. But for example, I build, right? So I literally I build homes and I remodel and do these things. It's not for me. It's a talent that I have. I'm able to connect the dots, like Greg said, right, earlier, by solving the problem and using this vision that is not my sight, but my vision, and able to kind of interpret what you believe you want. And most of the time it works because I just do, and I just follow. I just do. You know, I'm not trying to take control of anything. So, going back to kind of making this tangible for those that are listening to us today, it's easier said than done. It's not that simple. But you don't understand. You're not in my shoes. I'm going to tell you this. Choose your heart. Which, at the end of the day, you're going to have to make a decision. And there's difficulties and challenges in whatever you do. Whether you stay at the 9 to 5, if that's what it is, or you stay as an entrepreneur, not knowing when your next paycheck is going to be, or whatever it is all difficult, challenging. It's all what it is, but it's also what you make it and how you choose to interpret what your state is while you're doing it. Which one do you want? Do you want the peace that Rod mentioned and talked about earlier on this podcast, on this live stream? Or do you want to just continue to have all the excuses and victimize yourself because that's what your norm is? Like let's have a real conversation, because everybody has an excuse for anything and everything. So what are we going to choose? What's the decision you're going to make? I personally, not speaking for anybody else, but have decided to take the gratitude pill to the next level. And I take every small win every single day. I made it today. I had the opportunity, privilege, and pleasure of having a conversation with 3 other brothers who are filled with life. I could have decided just to skip it, but I didn't. So are you going to skip your next step simply because you don't understand where your foot is going to land? No.
You better put that robe on him. I don't have access to
it. Yeah, too much.
I swear one day we all gonna be in here with robes on, like real live robes at the same day one time with pipes and probably shipment hats. Like with Hugh Hefner or whatever. Like, yeah, I could see it happening, real talk. But again, I'm appreciative and we're grateful to spend yet another wonderful conversation with one another, with the audience that we have. We thank you for joining us. And a lot of lessons, a lot of good nuggets. I encourage people to play this whole episode back, man, and really, really look within yourself to find your creative outlet, what your discipline should be, and to make the hard decision to go after it. Because who knows, you may have an impact like Michael, and who says you can't? It's your creativity, and it's also your choice. Again, this is the GFB Clubhouse. Every Tuesday night, we're here at 7 p.m. And next week, we're going to be joined by 2 ministry leaders in preparation for our live event on June 5th. The title of the episode for next week is going to be the power of community, the empowerment, of community. And we all know we definitely have a little bit to say about that. So, again, we thank you for joining us this evening. We pray that you have a wonderful week. Until the next time we see you, may God bless and keep you. We'll see you next time.
Peace.